yesterday.
Okay, fine. So I'll start from the beginning, no problem. And now I'm going to start this presentation. Okay. Good morning, friends. I welcome you all for the today's live synchronous interaction mode. In this, we are going to learn the friendly introduction to the machine learning. What are the different machine learning algorithms use to solve our real-time problems? Okay. So first we'll see what is machine learning. So in this world, there are humans and there are machines. And we know that the humans, they learn from the past experience and instruction, or the machine can be programmed. Now the question here is that, can we learn the machine? Yes. We can learn the machine. Answer is yes. So we can learn the machine. In case of machine, this experience has a name called as data. So we have to learn the machine data or using examples or samples. Well, so now from this slide onwards, we are going to learn some examples. We are going to learn the machine learning using some the housing market company, and we want to estimate the price of the house. And some data set is given to us. Some example is the small size house cost $70,000, whereas the medium size, the large size house or the big house, it cost $1,60,000. Now we want to estimate the price of the medium size house. Okay, so to help us out, let us represent this data set into a two-dimensional Cartesian coordinate system, which is called as the input instance space. So in this, the x-axis represents the size of the house in the square feet, and y-axis represents the price of the house in dollar. Now, small size and this big size house, we have been given some other data also, some other examples also, which have been this blue circle. Now, what we are going to do is, though we have given the size of the price house, the price of the small size house, so we'll just represent the size house, that is $70,000. In the same way, we also represent the price of the big size house, and that is $1,60,000. And yesterday, I had asked the question that what's the best estimate for the price of the medium size house, which is represented here. So the options are, will it be 80,000, $1,20,000, or will it be $1,90,000? And the right answer given by the students are $1,20,000. How? We have just plotted the dotted lines for this medium size house because we have represented the entire task on this x and y axis, where x axis represent the size of the house and y axis represent the price of the house. So the correct answer for this question is 1,20,000. Okay, so to obtain this answer or to achieve this answer, what we have done is made a line that intercepts the y-axis at some point such that the line, right? So here you can see that this black solid line, it intercepted this y-axis at this point. Okay, now why we have intercepted the line at this point? Because we want to fit this line to all these examples, to all these blue circles. These blue circles are basically our data sets. So a lot of synonyms are there for the samples, examples, data set, instances, data example, and so on. Okay, present this cost of the medium size house with the dotted line. So just plot it, and we got the answer, that is $1,20,000 is the right answer. Okay, now the question here is that we have drawn this line and all, we have done this huge process. So this entire process that we have followed, this is called as linear regression. So linear regression is one of the important machine learning algorithms which are particularly used in some typical domain. I will tell you at the end of this presentation what are these different domains and which algorithms are used for these domains, right? So linear regression is one of the machine learning algorithm. Okay. Now again the question remains same: how we can achieve this black solid line that intercepts the y-axis? Line equation, all of us know that. So linear regression line has also the equation, which is output variable y is equal to
Sir, your voice is
beta
breaking.
0 plus beta 1. Okay, okay, okay. Friends, is it audible? Who had asked me? Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, but it is breaking in between.
I'm audible. Okay, okay, great. So now the equation of linear regression line is y is equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 into x, where y is the output variable, x is the input variable, and beta 0 and beta 1, they are also called as the coefficient, constants, or learning parameters, machine learning parameters. So now we are going to see how we can achieve this line that best fit your sample data, these blue points. Okay, so let us plot these 3 points, 3 samples on the input instance space. And now we luxury to draw a best fit line. So we'll just draw a bad line and we'll check how this line, whether this line is bad line or it is a good line. So how we can find out? So we'll try to find out the error made by this line. And how we can find out the error made by the line? So the distance of line from the point is nothing but the error. So error made by the line for these 3 points. So let us add this all the errors together. So to find out the average error. So this is the average error made by this line for these 3 points. Now, because we do not have any thumb rule, we do not know any principle to get the best fit line. So we'll just move the line in the downward direction just to check that whether the line best fit this point. So we just move the line downwards. Okay, and again, we repeat the same process for each point, and then we add them up to find out the average error. And now we have seen that. Okay, so now this gives me the basis that, or this gives me the idea that if I move the line downward, so now in this third iteration, what I will do, I will move the line upward, and again I will repeat the same process. This will be repeated several times. So add the error, and surprisingly, I found that the process of finding the error and making the line best fit to all the training examples, all the data examples or samples is called as gradient descent. Okay, I repeat, this process of finding the error and making the line best fit your input instance space is called as gradient descent. Now these points, they are one or the other side of the line, and we know that if the points which are on the other side of the line, generally they will be measured into a measure with the negative distance, and we know that the distances are never negative. So we square up all the distances, and this process of squaring up all the distances is called as least square, and this is called as least square linear regression method using gradient descent. So for what purpose we are using gradient descent method? Gradient descent method is used to minimize the error made by the line for all the samples. It may be, it should be close to 0, or it should be 0 some other time. Okay, so that's all from this linear regression. So let us move to the next example. So let's say that we are the software firm, and our client has given us the problem that they want to detect the spam emails for every new incoming emails in the user's inbox. 100 emails, and all these emails, they have been labeled. So each email is either spam email or non-spam. Let's flag these emails which are spam and non-spam. So let us separate this 25 email and let us flag it as a spam email, and the remaining 75 emails will be flagged as non-spam. Let me check whether I am online or not. Okay, somebody is there. Teju Kuwar. Okay, she is joining. Am I audible and my screen is visible to all? Anyone can just please let me know.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible? My screen is also visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Fine. Yes. Okay, great. Fine. So we have flagged 25 emails out of the 100 sample emails as spam, as non-spam. Now we want to detect spam emails out of this first 25 and the remaining 75 emails. Okay. Now we have to decide some criteria to detect whether the. We have decided that if an email contains the word cheap, then we'll declare that email as the spam email. If the email does not contain cheap word, then that means it is a non-spam email. Okay. And after deciding this, that there are 20 such email from the first 25 emails which contains the word cheap. So we will declare them as a spam email. And emails in the remaining 75 emails which contains the word cheap. Okay, so we'll again declare them as a spam emails. So now we only focus contains the word cheap, and let us move to the next. Okay, so now it's time to quiz. So if an email contains the word cheap, what is the probability of? So you can write your answer in the chat box. I'll give you the options. So the probability that spam is 40%, 60%, or 80%. Give me the right answer in the chat box. I will wait for 1 minute. So come on, be fast. If you found out the answer, please chat box. Type your answer in the chat box. We have 25 emails. Okay, so 20 emails are from spam category and spam category, which contains the word cheap. Okay, now my question is that if a new email comes in which contains the word cheap, what is the probability of it being spam? Is it 40%, 60%, or 80%? If you want to give the answer, you can, yeah, right. So the answer is 80%. Of course, because the probability category is 80%, and the prior probability that we have found out here, the prior probability of the email being spam for the spam is 80%, and for non-spam class it is 20%. So of course, if a new email contains the word cheap, then its probability being spam is 80% because the spam class has the highest probability. So 80% is the right. Well done, friends. Okay. So now, likewise, you can go ahead and you can use criteria to declare or to find the email as a spam email for the classification of email as a spam email. So you can take another feature that if the email contains the spelling mistake, then we'll classify that email as a spam email. So the probability if a new email contains a spelling mistake, then its probability being spam is 70%. If a new email contains a missing title, then its probability being spam is 95%. And or you can combine these three criteria together and then perform the classification. So the friends, the process that we have used classification of an email as spam or non-spam, this process, this entire procedure is Bayes algorithm. So Bayes algorithm is the probabilistic machine learning algorithm in artificial intelligence. I hope you have enjoyed this topic, detecting the spam email. So this is a real-time example that we have solved algorithm in a machine learning, which is called as Bayes algorithm. And Bayes algorithm, probabilistic machine learning algorithm. Okay, great. So I hope you are enjoying this learning. Next real-time example. Okay, great. So recommending the app. So let us assume that store and our task is to recommend the new apps to the user. Okay, and what is given to us? We have been given the data of the 6 people which are represented in this table. This table, it represents the gender. Second column, it represents the age, and the third column, it represents the that the user has downloaded. So the first user, the first people, let us see the first data set. The first people's gender, or the first example's gender. Okay, so like this, different peoples are given to us, and to recommend the new app that the user most likely to download. Okay, do you understood what is the problem statement? Recommend the app to the users that they most likely to download based on some criteria again. Okay, again there is a time for quiz. You look at this data set and please tell me, between gender and age, which more decisive for predicting what application that user will likely to download, whether it will be gender, be a age column that seems to be more decisive in predicting what application user most likely to download. So again, take some time and please give me the answer. Chat box again. Okay, so Bhakti has given the answer age. Good. Abhishek has given the age. Okay, so age is somebody's, lot of people are saying age. Okay, we'll give the time to other students also. Okay, let me come back. And yes, all of you are saying that age is the column that seems more decisive in predicting that what application that user most likely to download. Yes, age is the column, or age is the feature which is more decisive. We'll see meaningful information in recommending the app to the user. Okay, so let us first take the, now there are, in gender column there are 3 females and there are 3 males. So just focus on the pink highlighted color, and you can see that out of these 3 female, 2 females, they have downloaded WhatsApp, and 1 female has downloaded the Pokemon. Now look at the blue highlighted area. There are 3 males. 2 males have downloaded the Pokemon and 1 male has downloaded the snapshot. Now this information is not meaningful for the app to the user, the new app to the user, based on some criteria, right? So we cannot extract any information from this first column, gender. Okay, now let us go to the next column, age. Now again, look at the pink color highlighted area. Let's say that the user which are younger than 20, which are younger than the age 20, they have downloaded the Pokemon game. Okay, so great, we have got some solution to perform the recommendation to the user. Okay, users, in remaining these 3 users, now we cannot use the age criteria because that does not give information. So what should I do now? Now I will take the help of the first column or the first feature, that is gender. Out of these 3 blue highlighted samples, 2 samples are belong to gender male and 1 sample belong to male. And you can see that surprisingly, both the females in row and this 4th row, they have downloaded the WhatsApp, whereas this male gender example, age 32, has downloaded the Snapchat. Okay, so that gives me the second solution of this problem. So first we use the age feature or the age column to perform the classification, and then I will use the gender. How we will use it? Let us see now. So let us build some tree to perform the classification. So this is my root node. Here the user will enter their age. If the age is younger than 20, straightforward, we will recommend them the Pokemon app. If the age is 20 or greater than 20, then what? So then we'll check whether it's the age of the gender of the person or the gender of the user is female or male. If it is male, then we'll recommend her WhatsApp. If it him, Snapchat. So that's all, friends. So this process that we have followed is called as the decision tree. Is also one of the important machine learning algorithm in this machine learning task, in resolving or solving the machine learning task or the real-time task. Okay, so let us take an example. So this is the user and less than 20, so we recommend her Pokemon. Let us take the next example. So the age of this girl is greater than 20, so now we'll check the user's gender. She is female, so we recommend her WhatsApp. The age of this young guy is greater than 20, so now we'll check his gender. So we recommend him Snapchat. So that's how this decision tree is used. So I hope you are learning. Please, anybody from you can unmute and please tell me, are you really enjoying it or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Okay, last 2 examples are given, so I'll just go to these last 2 examples. Okay, now the third important machine learning algorithm used is called as support vector machine. This support vector machine is also called as the margin classifier. Let us understand with some example. So this is the guy who is going to perform the support vector machine. Okay, this black solid line between this red circles and the green circles, which is a solid line, this is actually Mumbai-Agra highway, which is passing through Nasik, and this dotted lines from both the side of this basically the service road. Okay, they are service road to this Mumbai-Agra highway. Now, friend, you tell me that you are standing very close to service road. Are there any chances that you will be, you may have an accident? Yes or no? Anybody can unmute and please tell me. I repeat the question. If you are standing at the corner of service road, far from highway, is there any chances of accident that you get accident? You can have accident. Anybody can unmute and please answer this question.
The chances are less, sir.
Yeah. Yes, tell me. The chances are very less. Now, please tell me, if you are standing at the corner of the highway, okay, you are crossing service road and you are standing very close to the Mumbai-Agra highway, where are the lot of big lorries are passing, the cars are passing, the trucks, the buses and whatnot, heavy vehicles are passing away. So any small noise induced, your friend pushes you very littlely, or you can say that with a low force, then you may have. So the same concept is used in support vector machine. So what we are doing that here in the support vector machine, that is, this is my decision boundary, which is actually my decision boundary, which actually performs the classification of these instances that we are seeing. These red circles are classified into red category, circles are classified into the green category. And then we have created a margin to this decision boundary on both the side, which is represented using this dotted line. Why? Because we want to ensure that any small noise that is induced on each of the side may misclassify these instances on the other side of the line. Small noise is induced on this green side, on this green class. Okay. So now this marginal classifier, which is represented line, it ensures that even if the noise is induced on this side, the instances won't be misclassified as red. Same way, this dotted line or the margin classifier on the red class, it ensures that any noise which is induced on the red class does not misclassify any of these instances. And friends, if we do not use this marginal classifier, then there is a high chances that a small noise induced in each of the side may misclassify that instance into the other class. So our entire classification will go wrong. And this is what the criteria, this is what the machine says, which I have explained you with a small example, that the highway. Okay, do you understood this example? How many of you? Pratibha, you can unmute your mic and please tell me, do you really understood this?
Sir, your voice is continuously breaking, sir.
Okay. How many of you are facing this problem? Audible, Pratibha, now?
Yes, sir.
Is it audible?
Yes, sir. Now it is audible.
Okay. So, now, do you understood this example, support vector machine, which I explained with the highway, expressway of Nashik, Mumbai, Agra highway? Do you understood this?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible too? Okay, great. We have done with one more important algorithm in the machine learning. Now let us go to the last, that is a pizza problem. So I know that when I say pizza, everybody is visualizing that Pizza Hut and Domino's and whatnot. Okay, great. Fine, friends. We are a pizza parlor chain, and the problem is that we want to open our new locations in the Nashik city, and we have identified that these are some locations the people eat the pizza most. I think the yellow is represent the Nashik road, blue represented with Gangapur road, and this red represented with we can say that the Panch. Now we want to open our pizza parlor at this new location. Okay, now it's very clear that we have to, again, we do not have any luxury to locate our pizza problem directly in the base place. So we randomly select the locations of our new pizza parlors. So this red pizza parlor, it serves the red houses. Blue pizza parlor, it serves the blue houses, which we have seen in this. And this yellow pizza parlor, it serves the yellow houses. Now we know that the people visit the pizza parlor which are closest to them, right? So now here you can say that these three yellow houses, they are close to this yellow pizza parlor. This blue houses, they are close to this blue pizza parlor, and this red houses which are colored here, they are close to this red pizza parlor. So what we will do in reality, actually, we have to put our pizza parlor's location close to the houses, right? So what we are doing in this case, this is not the ideal position of this pizza parlor. We have to relocate, or we have to move this pizza parlor such a way that it is close to all these three houses. So we relocate this pizza parlor so that it will be close to these three houses. Then we also move the blue pizza parlor close to these 6 blue houses, and we also move the red pizza parlor so that it is close to all the red houses. So we have recalculated the locations, we have relocated our pizza parlor. We got this? Now, do you found any problem in this? Anyone? What is the problem here? We have, after relocating our pizza parlor close to its vicinity, then what is the problem that is occurred now? Can anybody please tell me? Is there Kanchan? You can unmute your mic, or Bhakti, you can unmute your mic. I can see Bhakti Dhaule. Okay. Am I audible to all? Am I audible to all? Okay, Shweta, you can unmute your mic and please tell me, what is the problem? Yes, Shweta, go ahead. Shweta, go ahead. You are not audible actually. Unmute your mic and please go ahead. Sir, mic issue, I think. Okay. Am I audible now? Please type in the chat box. Message in the chat.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible
Audible,
now? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Your voice is breaking, sir.
Okay. I think, see, if few students are able to hear me, or if I'm audible to them, then, and if you are not, I'm not audible to you, in that case, you have local internet connectivity issue. Okay. Am I audible now? I have a good internet bandwidth today. Okay, you can type in the chat. Okay, Pranjal is saying, yes, you are audible. Okay. I'm audible, but you are missing a few words that I'm speaking. Okay. But slides are visible to everyone? Okay, yes, it's break in between. Okay, again, see, since yesterday we are facing the weather issue, so maybe in between I get the intermittent access to the internet, so that's the reason it is my voice is breaking. Okay, so I'll go back to this question, this slide. So we have recalculated the of the pizza parlors for each of the color of the houses. For yellow, we have relocated pizza parlor here. For blue houses, we have relocated our pizza parlor here, and for the red houses, we have relocated it here. Now, after doing this, I just realizes that, or I observed that these three houses, they are very close to this pizza parlor, because in the first slide we have just mentioned that the people will visit the pizza parlor which is closest to them. So okay, so these three blue houses, why they will visit this blue parlor if the yellow pizza parlor is close to them? So that's the next thing we are doing. So we are merging these 3 houses into this yellow houses, and again we recalculate the locations of the yellow pizza parlor. So move the yellow of the houses, and the same process will be repeated for the blue pizza parlor as well as for the red. Now, after doing this, in this step, I just observed that these red houses are close to this blue pizza parlor. So relocate the blue pizza parlor. So we merge this red houses, 5 red houses into a blue house, and we relocate the blue pizza parlor in the center of this blue houses. And the same process is repeated for this red pizza. And this process that we have followed, friends, is called as K-means clustering algorithm. Don't you feel that this is really enjoying to learn the machine learning with some real-time example? Okay, we have seen the predicting the price of the house. We have seen how the linear regression gradient descent method is used and the least square method is used. Then we have seen detecting a spam email in every new incoming email. We have seen recommending the app to the user. We have seen the support vector machine, how it solves the problem of misclassifying the instances from one or the other side of the decision boundary. And then we have seen learned using the pizza parlor example, right? So this process that we have followed for locating the pizza parlor at or location is called as K-means clustering. Okay, so that's all from my end. I just mentioned we have seen the linear regression algorithm. We have learned the linear regression algorithm using the price of the house example. Then we have learned the naive Bayes algorithm using spam detection example. We have seen the decision recommendation app example, and there are some other examples. We have also seen the clustering using pizza parlor example. We have seen the support. These last 2 algorithms are remain. Due to the time limit, I'll just end up here because for 40 minutes this much slides are machine learning algorithms are fit. Okay, so we have seen all these algorithms. Now these are the references I have followed. Patiently listening this presentation, or for patiently listening me and being interactive during this. If you have any problem with regards to this presentation, you can write me here on this email ID, or you can reach me out at this. Okay, to end my presentation, I will just add one last question to all of you. You can answer the question, and then I will stop. Okay. My question to all of you is that we have seen the different machine learning algorithm. Now my question is, which algorithm to use and when to use? Please give me answer. We have seen that there are so many machine learning algorithms, but which algorithm to use? How do I decide that which algorithm is best task for my machine learning problem? Okay, one is saying that which will give us the most accuracy. Rohit is saying that it depends on the problem statement. Okay, Sanket is saying that check the accuracy score. Pratibha is again saying that it depends on the accuracy. Okay, anybody else? Yes, Sushant is also saying that it based on problem statement. Pooja is saying some different, that which will give me the feasible solution. Okay, Bhumika is saying accuracy and precision. Shweta, complexity. Okay, Bhakti is saying accuracy and correctness. Okay, Akash is having some different answer based on the problem. Give me the more accuracy. Okay, good. Best interaction. Okay, interaction is best. Okay, Accuracy. Okay, Vedant is having a surprisingly different answer. Depends on the features in the data frame and the calculating accuracy. Okay, Shubham is saying best solution. Okay, thanks guys, thanks for all of your answer. And now it's my turn to give the answer. Answers are partially right. Why I say partially right? Because we cannot decide for solving the machine learning task based on its accuracy, based on its complexity, based on what feasible solution it is giving, whether it is giving feasible solution or not, or whether it is giving the best solution or not. So altogether, first of all, how do we decide which machine learning algorithm to use? So look at your problem statement. Okay, if your problem statement, if it is pertinent, or if it is belong to retail domain, whether it is belong to medical domain, whether it is belong to social media domain. So we first try to find out. For example, if the task given to me is to predict the stock price to market, okay, then I have to first think on my problem statement. My problem statement, it belongs to stock market prediction. Then we'll see what are the available. I can have linear regression algorithm, I can have naive Bayes, I can have support vector machine and whatnot. But which is suitable to my problem? Because the data set that is required to predict the stock price market is numeric, then we do not have any alternative than the linear regression. So this gives me the basis that I have to use the linear regression. Different types of linear regression algorithm. The simple linear regression algorithm, multiple linear regression algorithm, and so on. Then we come to the point of accuracy. Then we'll see which gives me the best accuracy, that algorithm. If the logistic regression algorithm gives me the best accuracy out of all, then I will choose the logistic regression algorithm. Okay, same way, if I'm a e-commerce company like a Flipkart and Amazon, then I have to decide what I want to do. My customers, they purchase the items, they perform the transaction. Out some pattern in purchasing capacity of the customers, right? So I have to find a pattern amongst them. So for that purpose, I have to find out the items purchased by the customer so that I can make the business decisions. So now for this e-commerce kind of problems, that is recommending a new product to the customers, recommending new video to the people. So now I have the option of using the association rule discovery algorithm to solve this kind of task. So again, friends, it depends on the domain of, again, if what is the accuracy of your machine learning algorithm, whether it gives the best solution or not, and so on. What type of you are using, whether you are using a nominal type of data set, or you are using a numeric data set, or anything else. So that's all from my end. Or you can drop your queries on the Moodle. My website is known to all of you. You just type in Nitin Usgare in, and the first link will appear that will take you to the machine learning course. So thank you for patiently listening. Thanks a lot. See you. Thank you. Now I am going to end this meeting.